I took a couple notes because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any of the points that I had before I got down here. Hold on one second. It's true what the other guy said about it being a dialogue. We have finally opened the dialogue face to face. I've been online for 10 fucking years telling people what's coming, and they didn't believe me. I've been way ahead of the curve on most of this, and I am so happy to see all of us out here, all different ideologies, all different races, all different religions, everything. You might be a guy who believes that the Federal Reserve is the worst thing on the planet and has us all enslaved. You might have an idea about how to fix that. You might believe that lobbying is disgusting. Lobbying and corporate interest, a corporation being able to buy and write legislation is fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. It needs to be a law. Why is it not a law? You might believe that the military-industrial complex is destroying the entire world, and it is. If you do not know who DynCorp is, you need to fucking Google it. If you do not know how Halliburton started the war in Iraq, you need to wake the fuck up. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Do you in City Hall hear what I'm saying to you? Don't pretend to care about how I'm living. Don't pretend to pass a seatbelt law for my protection when you'll also pass the FDA will allow Ritalin to be described to your children. Are you fucking kidding me? Where are we as people?
Off it, baby.
Everybody, listen to me. Okay, I got fired up and I apologize. I got fired up and I gotta apologize.
Keep it going.
All right, listen. Right now, the big fight that's going on is for control and the labeling of this movement. If you watch what the mainstream media is saying right now, it is trying to marginalize all of us. It's trying to say, this is a left movement. No, this is not a right movement. This is separate from the Tea Party. Most of the people in the Tea Party agree with everything that we're standing for right now. But a couple years ago, the Tea Party got co-opted. It got used by the Republican Party. Don't fool yourselves. They came in with money and they took a movement that was based in pure. It was pure. And they destroyed it. They used it to further their agenda. And we can't let that happen here. Our strength is in our solidarity and our open discussions about every idea. This is where I need my notes. I had written a couple things down from a couple of ideas, like earlier when I was saying about the Federal Reserve being a problem and this and that. There's also been one other thing that's kind of bothered me. And that is this idea that capitalism is the big enemy. We have never ever in this country seen free market capitalism. Once a corporation or a bank can buy legislation to make its inferior product still viable, we have a problem. The oil industry is so archaic that it blows my mind. The only reason they still exist is because of the fact that they own all the patents. You guys see that problem right there?
Yes.
It used to be in this country that you had to recharter your corporation every 6 years. And you had to prove that you were giving a service to humanity. The rules of the Constitution, all of the answers that we need are in the Constitution. How many people have read it? All you need is fraud law. I mean, are you kidding me? None of these banks would still exist. We should have, when BP spilled all the oil in the Gulf of Mexico, we should have seized BP. We should have released all their patents on the open market, and we should have seen where the free market went from there. Come on.
Make an example.
I love everybody's perspective, and I'll listen to what anybody has to say. And the other day I was down here, and I spoke to a socialist, because a socialist is a dirty word to a lot of Americans. The theories are sound, but it's still a huge error. And that error is because you are accepting the rule from somebody else. It comes from the people. The Constitution was the greatest document ever written, and we do not listen to it at all. Right now, we're starting to. We're looking around and we're saying, the world's messed up, and what the hell am I going to do about it? Because you can't trust your politicians to do it. They ain't in this game for you. They're in this game for them. And they've always been in that game for them. They convinced us that we need them. I'll go with the quote from V for Vendetta, from the great chancellor, where he said, we have to remind them why they need us. Why? Because we don't need them. There are very few principles that the federal government actually has to do. They have to protect our border, otherwise we're no longer a sovereign nation. They have to issue our money debt-free. Why are we getting money lent to us from a private bank at interest?
Right.
You cannot pay off debt with debt.
And the Fed.
You got to end the Fed. I'll tell you what, out of every, if you're going to pinpoint an enemy, you have got to pinpoint the Federal Reserve.
Monsanto.
If you do not, we are screwed.
Monsanto as well. Controlling the food supply.
Yeah. I'm kind of
What year did the Fed start?
1913.
And what about before then? What about all the mafia shit
Oh,
that's
no.
going on? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cartel right here.
Absolutely. What happened then? When the I don't need this. I don't need this. When
I know already, but I mean,
Yeah.
before the Fed, there was already fucking.
yeah, and the thing was and he's right.
After him, he's still talking.
He's absolutely right. What happened before the Fed? Because of the fact that we didn't centralize power so much, and we were still self-sufficient, independent communities, we were able to be insulated. We were mostly rural. People grew their own food. Right now, you're dependent on the government for your food.
Right.
If people don't start working together as communities, forget about it. You want to think that the central government can give you safety and security? That's impossible. Safety and security comes from me going over to you and shaking your hand and saying, look, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
I know shit's messed up, and I would really like to see it be better. What do you think?
Good job.
Exactly. That's why we're here.
That's why we're all here, right?
Yes.
We all understand that. I ain't got nothing else to say. I would love to talk to everybody today. You know what? I do have one more thing to say. To everybody out there that believes that this movement is not about them, this is not about the 99%. We are every man. We are every woman. We are every child. We are every ideology, and we are every religion. We are the 99.9%. The 0.1% is that little group of people that believe that they were born with the entitlement of benefiting from all of our labor, time, money, and everything. You need to get it on the button. Corporations, you can't blame them, they're for profit. The fact that we buy their products is the problem. We have totally forgotten the power of the boycott. We can all start right now and just say boycott Walmart. Let's see what the fuck happens. General strike. Every single neighborhood should have a block party and work shit out with your neighbors.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a huge block party in every single part of this country.
That's right.
And come up with solutions that work for your neighborhood, for your township, for your city, for your state. Have it built from the ground up, from the smallest local level. And then you don't need the federal government.
Front yard farming.
Front yard farming. Good man. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well articulated.
Wow. This is heavy.
Yeah, 'cause it's heavy.
This is
Around
real.
all time.